Welcome to Dash in the Uplands. I'm Des Young, and this mountaineering bird dog is my hunting partner, my Llewellyn setter, Dash. Join us today for a trip high into the Ruby Mountains above Elko, Nevada, as we search for the elusive, wary Himalayan Snowcock. The Himalayan Snowcock is a large, grouse-like member of the partridge family and is found in its native habitat of the high central and southern Asian mountains. The Ruby Mountain Range is the only place in North America where there's a wild, huntable population of these magnificent birds, if you can find them. Dash and I are proud to have the following sponsors: Bayer Animal Health, the makers of Canine Advantix; Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter of hunting, fishing, and outdoor gear; and by HWH Productions and Mirage Productions, producers of quality outdoor television programs. This adventure began with the smoothest ride Dash and I would have for several days. We parked our Hummer and met up with our guides, horses, and mules at the beginning of the trail that would take us up into the Ruby Mountains for our snowcock hunt. There's the beginning of the trail, and those high peaks in the distance are where we were going. This bird hunting trip was unlike any I had ever taken with Dash or his dad Hank before him. We were going into the mountains to camp, so it required several people, horses, and mules to get us and the gear up there. And with so much country to cover, I knew we'd be lucky if we just saw a snowcock, let alone get a shot at one. But I just couldn't pass up the adventure. Introducing Dash to horses a week prior to this trip had been a good idea, I thought. But it had made him too comfortable. He showed no fear of them at all. So I was given a gentle mare that would accept Dash as a passenger. If you've followed our previous adventures, you know I have a very strict rule. Never, ever spoil your bird dog. I don't think this is spoiling Dash. Do you? When we reached our base camp, we were at 9,000 feet. The birds for which we were searching were even higher. They were up there somewhere at 11,000 feet. I was beginning to wonder just what I'd gotten Dash and me into. He was probably wondering the same thing. We settled in around our campfire for dinner as the late day blanketed the mountain slope. Then, quietly, moving through the deepening twilight, these bighorn sheep began feeding high above our camp. It was a nice ending to our first day on the Ruby Mountains. Early the next morning, Dash, our guide Mitch Bazzetti, and I left camp to begin our search. It was a beautiful morning, filled with the promise of a great adventure ahead of us, and I was already breathing hard.
You know, Des, if you'd like to go on a slower or faster pace, just speak up, okay?
Okay, well, slower would be better.
You bet. Maybe we'll just go up here a little bit further and sit down and do some glassing for these birds.
Okay. Well, Mitch, what are we looking for here now?
Well, we're looking for these birds up in these cliffs here and on these open hillsides, and that grass feeding under these cliffs are actually up in them.
Okay.
You know, and they like to use those cliffs as protection.
Okay, well, I've seen pictures of them. They're pretty good size, aren't they?
Yeah, they're about 4 to 6 pounds is the average bird right in there. And,
okay.
And that's a pretty good sized bird for
really?
Up here. You bet. You'd think they'd be pretty easy to spot up there in this terrain, but they're really not. Very elusive.
While we were glassing the mountain, we saw another hunter. This golden eagle was probably searching for the same thing we were. So it was time to try another location. This would be Dash's toughest challenge and most unusual hunt, for a very unusual reason. He was going to have to be patient while we searched, and then stay near us through this challenging terrain as we worked our way up the mountainside. It wouldn't be easy for him, but I knew he would do it. Now we were getting close to the summit, and I could feel it. At nearly 11,000 feet, I noticed that even when I tried to catch my breath, I couldn't catch my breath, and Mitch was barely breathing. He was incredibly patient and only continued moving after we'd rested every few yards. A guide's job is not just to find game or birds, it's to take care of his clients. As we stood there, this female bighorn sheep strolled by us at a leisurely pace and even stopped to give us a better look. I'd never been this close to one before. It was a great thrill for me to see her, and gratifying to see that she was panting also. I know you've noticed how rugged this country is, so this is a good time to remind you that there is no substitute for a good pair of boots. For country like this, keep them lightweight with good ankle support, and you'll do just fine. When we got close to a ridgeline, Mitch had me load my gun. To keep Dash safe, I put him at whoa and stalked up to the edge, just in case I could surprise a bird. The strategy here was to try to approach likely-looking areas from above, so that if there were any birds below, they would fly down instead of run farther up the mountain. It reminded me of the same strategy I use when hunting chukar partridge. I didn't want to release Dash here because you can see how rocky this is and how steep. So, just keep looking. At another cliff edge, you can see how careful we had to be with each step. The loose rocks and steep drop made each approach an adventure in itself. Watch as Mitch makes sure I don't lose my balance while we approached. Another likely spot, but no birds yet. Boy, Dash, good boy. Yep. Ooh, Mitch, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Is this a snowcock feather, Mitch?
That is, Des.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah, they're very beautiful. The only place in North America that you'll find that wild.
Really? Right here?
Yeah, in these Ruby Mountains.
Well, we got a feather.
Yeah, we got a feather.
We're on our way.
I hope so.
I'm going to keep this.
You bet.
All right. Looks like we got another sneakable ridge up here.
Yeah, you bet. We'll look down off in some of those chutes right up here and see if we can find some birds.
All right. Maybe the guy that left that feather's up there.
Yeah, maybe. He's around here somewhere.
By now, I was really getting tired, but each time a new edge presented an opportunity, my energy level quickly picked up.